The camera.
Is the camera on?
Oh, my back.
There you go.
Good evening. The September 12th, 2018 meeting of the Long Branch City Council will now come to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler?
Here.
Mr. Vieira?
Here.
Dr. Vogt?
Here.
Dr. Selly?
Here.
Mrs. Wittes?
Here. Please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the
Flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
indivisible, and justice for all.
Thank you.
I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you. At this time, we have two presentations. Mayor Pallone?
Sure. Council President, why don't you come up with me? Mr. Levine, Mr. Levine, if you can come on up. We're giving a certificate of appreciation to Rena Levine-Levy and Stephen Levy. And they've donated 2 defibrillators to the city of Long Branch. And so we're thanking them and appreciative of that. But also, the Levine family has just, over the years, donated so much to the city of Long Branch and to many other communities throughout the shore here. And we just wanted to show our appreciation to them. I was thinking of something else to say, but this was sort of summed up in an article that was written about a Christmas party that Mr. Levine had for his birthday in Asbury Park, and I'd just like to read this to you because it sums up what this family has done for our community and others. It says, Stephen Levine of the iconic Windmill Restaurants has always found ways to help, to feed, to help those in need, and to make a lot of people feel good. He's simply a good soul with a long history of good deeds, much of which goes unnoticed or unwritten about. So thanks, Stephen Levine, for the memories and the joy you spread. And again, just a few things we can talk about. Hurricane, from Sandy all the way through to any major hurricane that has impacted Puerto Rico, Texas, far air. The family is always there. Their son Aaron is head of the Chamber of Commerce and is always involved in the community. Just really appreciate everything that you do. Council President, if you could just read this and present it.
Sure.
Yes.
We'd like to send a certificate of appreciation. This certificate is presented to Rena Levine and Stephen Levine in recognition of their generous donation of 2 automated external defibrillators to be used as defibrillators to the city of Long Branch, presented this 12th day of September 2018. Thank you so much.
Presentation, I'd like to call up Molly Guzman and Ray and the family. So Molly has contacted me for the last several years. She's September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, and Molly and her son Ray have been very active in our community, promoting and making people aware of that. She's contacted me, like I said, for several years. So they're the biggest advocates for this, but I just want to make a point that more than 15,000 children are diagnosed with cancer each year, but less than 4% of federal funding goes to pediatric research. And in addition, many of the childhood cancer therapies are based on adult therapies. So, for example, a lot of the chemotherapies that are given to children have lifelong effects on them with lifelong illnesses and so forth as a result of that. So Molly and Ray are as they always are every year, to just be advocates for that and be aware. And Ray, I hope you don't mind saying, Ray was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma when he was 8 years old. He is now 10 years this year cancer-free. He is on the varsity wrestling team, varsity soccer team here at Long Branch. Great student, and just volunteers for many things throughout the city. So Ray and Molly. Veterans essay for the city, so thank you. But anyway, Council President, you can make this. This is a resolution that we adopt every year. I don't know if you want to read the whole thing. If you do, that's fine. But
this resolution declaring September 2018 is Child Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Long Branch. And I'm not going to read everything, but now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and City Council of the City of Long Branch that they do hereby declare September 2018 to be Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in Long Branch, New Jersey, in order to help raise awareness of pediatric cancer and its victims. Thank you so much for all of your efforts. And at this time, I'd like to have a reading and approval of previous minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Witt?
Consideration of ordinances, public hearing and final consideration. There are none. Ordinances for introduction. This is the first reading of ordinance 19-18 entitled an ordinance amending section 5-16 of the Code of the City of Long Branch and providing for the appointment of Long Branch residents to advisory councils, boards, and commissions. I need a motion to introduce on first reading, advertise and post according to law, and set the public hearing for September 26, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. This is the first reading of ordinance 20-18 entitled an ordinance amending ordinance 325-3C, Schedule 2 of the Code of the City of Long Branch, South Lake Drive. I need a motion to introduce on first reading, advertise, and post according to law, set the public hearing for September 26, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dangler?
Yes.
Mr. Vieira?
Yes.
Dr. Vogt?
Yes.
Dr. Selly?
Yes.
Mrs. Wittes?
Yes. At this time, I need a motion to open the public portion of the meeting for all comments.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? If anyone in the audience has any comments to make, please step to the microphone and state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once.
Good evening. My name is Gail Brown. A few of you know me. And when you say comments, do you also mean complaints? Okay, very good. Okay. On the 21st of August, I walked down a street that I walked down the majority of my life. I was born and raised in Long Branch. I fell. I'm a senior. I fell. I was in pain. I was embarrassed. I was helped by 2 other seniors to get up. I called the police department because they said the street is broken, the sidewalk's broken. This shouldn't be. I called for assistance. To make a long story short, your police dispatcher hung up on me. I am a senior. I was in pain. I wanted assistance. I have it in my cell phone. I did call 8 times, but I'm standing there because I said, no, I don't need assistance right now, but I do want this recorded. I took pictures of the broken sidewalk, and I called the police department again. Oh, well, we don't have any police officers right now. You'll have to wait. I'm standing there in pain, both my knees, live right down the street. Okay, I want to go home. So I called again. This time, well, if you're going to take that attitude, click. If you do not have the temperament to deal with the public, especially a senior who is in pain, who is calling the police department for assistance, then you should not be a police dispatcher. You should not. You have to be there to help people. I mean, I did say I did not want assistance, but yet still, I'm standing there. And I'm like, I'm tired of this. The third time I called was to tell them, forget it, I'm going to go home. I took pictures. But instead, she hung up on me. That's not right. That's really not right. And I hate that this is my first time ever coming to one of these meetings, and I'm coming in with complaints. That was number one. Number two, have you guys, anybody on this panel, left their private vehicle at home and walked the streets of Long Branch? I do every day. I walk from 96 Rockwell Avenue to the train station. There are so many broken up sidewalks on the way there. I mean, right there in front of, on Rockwell Avenue, in front of that new Rook, the coffee place, you have those trees. What are those trees? They've been there for years. You can't even walk that side of the sidewalk because of those trees, even in the wintertime. We're walking on the street in the wintertime when there's snow. We need to get rid, you guys need to really walk the streets of Long Branch. It's ridiculous. And then, my second complaint, 94 Rockwell Avenue was recently sold. My next door neighbor, they put in a fence. They put it in wrong. I called code enforcement 3 times. The third time I left a message. I said, look, if you don't want to return my call, if you don't want to respond, then meet me at the meeting, the council meeting, September 12th at 7:30, and let's get together then. I got a call the next day, but that was at work. So I asked them to call my mother. Since then, nothing. But he's a police officer. Is that why I couldn't have a police officer come and assist me when I fell? Because you have them working in code enforcement? If they are, they're not doing a good job. There are so many broken sidewalks, so many broken up driveways, so many streets in different areas that need to be repaired. Look at McDonald's, multi-millionaires. Their sidewalks are terrible, terrible. My 2 complaints. I mean, for your dispatcher to hang up on a senior who is looking for assistance, that's deplorable. That's unacceptable. And that hurt me to the core. Thank you.
So, Ismail, if you don't mind staying around till the end of the meeting, is Chief Roebuck still here, or he's not? Well, certainly I'll speak with you or the business administrator. Please, my apologies. I hope nothing like that happens in the future, but if it ever does, please immediately call the mayor's office, and at least I would have some answers and try to address the situation a lot quicker than you're having to wait 3 weeks to come here. We're working on the trash pickup and the bulk pickup, and most people see an improvement there, but the sidewalks is something we want to address as well. And if there are particular locations, please let us know. But what is the situation? I mean, you have the issue where it's mostly privately owned, so it's a code enforcement issue that we have to enforce. So we'll try to do the best we can, and please, if you could stick around, I'd like to talk to you a moment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Hi,
Aye.
my name is Rich James. I live in Toms River, but I'm here actually as the president of Kensington Court Condo Association, 317-325 Bath Avenue, obviously in Long Branch. So, I'm a little angry that I'm here today. I've been the association president for 20 years, and the fire department tells us where to put our fire lanes, our fire zones. The complex was built 70 years ago, and I guess in those years, one parking space per unit was adequate. Obviously, that doesn't really apply anymore, but that's the way the place was built. So parking is a problem that I've had to deal with for 20 years. My solution was I would tow the cars out to the ocean and push. I was told by the police department I could be charged with stealing cars, so I asked them for a procedure. I had a procedure written up in accordance with their recommendations, so everybody was on the same page. Not a problem. It worked for 15 years. I ran for mayor 4 years ago unsuccessfully. I said, I don't compromise, I go right to unconditional surrender, so I moved to Toms River. Since I moved away from Long Branch, it's been an increasing problem of parking. I'm getting calls from people that are trying to have people parking in their spots, and cars that are bumper to bumper in the fire zone, fire lanes. People can't get out of their garages. When they call the police, it's very dependent on who shows up. I need a consistent solution. Jumping ahead, when I was here in August paying my tax bill, I said, well, let me try to find somebody, let me speak to the head chief muckety-muck at the police department. I've already spoken to sergeants, lieutenants, captains, tried to speak with the chief of police. Is it Roebuck, right? Is that, okay. So he was unavailable, fine. His secretary was gone, but I got the phone number. I don't remember her name, but she's at extension 1910, whoever that is. Lovely young woman, I guess, and I spoke with her 6 times. She took messages from me since the first week of August when I paid my tax bill. She promised me somebody was going to call me back. I spoke with her again and again and again. I'm getting calls. I need to do something with this. And yes, this is why I ran for mayor, actually. And I don't mean to sound like I'm spitting sour grapes here, but police captains in Long Branch make more than 2-star generals. That seems mind-bending to me. But okay, it is what it is. I can't get a phone call back. I do not want to drive up here from Toms River, but if that's what I got to do, I mean, I don't know where to go from here. Hopefully I can get a response. I need a procedure that can be consistently applied. I can't have it random. I can't be dependent on who shows up. And this might not sound like a really urgent issue, but I promise you, for those 50 families that live there, they've got kids, they've got very limited space, and we're elbow to elbow with people. And it's really, there's not a whole lot I can do. They have a problem, and I am speaking for them because I empathize with that problem. So I'm here to request if somebody wants to deal with my parking situation. Go ahead.
So first off, if I may, it's
Absolutely.
nice to see you.
Likewise, how are you feeling?
Good, thank you.
I'm glad to hear that.
Thanks. So, as you know or may know, we're a new administration, but I will tell you this: I will make sure that Chief Roebuck calls you back tomorrow or the next day at the latest.
I very much appreciate
If you could, if you wouldn't mind, or if you wanted to step over to Mary and just give your current information, email and phone number. If you don't want to wait, I'd love to talk to you, but if not, just give Mary the information over there, and I'll make sure that I will call you as well as the chief.
I appreciate that.
Sure. Thank you.
That is my issue for tonight. It is very nice to see you all, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wayne Washington, and I reside on Washington Street in Long Branch. And up until today, I was unemployed.
Wayne, could you raise the microphone just a little bit?
Sure,
I'm sorry,
sure.
maybe just come a little closer.
Sure.
Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Like I was saying, up until today, I was unemployed, and I have very limited resources as far as a computer or even a smartphone to reach out and for job prospects and so on and so forth. So the public library over here, I'm just here to, I guess, commend the library and its staff, Ms. Garcia and Mr. Perez in particular. They were very instrumental in helping me not only look for a job, but prepare myself and search for a job. But I'm just here to say that the Long Branch Public Library serves the Long Branch community in a very impactful way, because not only do I see myself in there, like grown-ups in there using the resources that's available to them, I also see children in there as well, like after school and stuff like that. So I guess the library plays a dual role as far as helping, keep the kids safe as well as giving them something productive to do, and allotted time and stuff like that, because there's a lot going on out in the streets, as we all know. I don't want to take up too much time, but I just want to say that, once again, that the public library, with the resources that it offers to adults as well as children, it helps the town of Long Branch to function in a positive way, and it really does offer, I guess, to help in a good way. It's a very good place for us to be, for help and direction and guidance and stuff like that. So I just wanted to commend the staff at the Long Branch Public Library. All right.
Well, Mr. Washington, we really.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really appreciate your coming in and commenting.
Yeah, because
you have Ms. Garcia here, who's the director of the library, and is Mr. Perez here? No. Oh, up there, David. I thought you were
and
there.
Mr. Garcia as well.
So Ms. Garcia is now the president of the New Jersey State Library Association, and part of that, no doubt, is because of the innovative programs that she has at our library, so we're very proud.
Yeah.
And Mr. Perez is the first full-time social worker at a library in the state of New Jersey. So again, I really appreciate your being here and
Yeah,
for your comment.
he really helped me out, because as any responsible adult knows, you want to provide for your family. And when you're unable to do that, when you have the necessary skills, it starts to wear on you. And Mr. Perez, with his social service skills, was able to help me calm myself down and walk me through the process. And thankfully, which I'm proud to say, I can't be here too much longer because I'm supposed to start work tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So, all right. Thank you for your time.
I'm sorry, before we continue, Dana, could you do me a favor? Could you just ask Chief Roebuck if he could stay for the duration of the meeting, because Jim and Ms. Brown are here and we can have a little conversation. Thank you. Sorry, Council President.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the council?
My name is Alice Kessler, Cedar Avenue, Long Branch, New Jersey. It's wonderful hearing a story of the wonderful things that are going on at the Long Branch Public Library. We are so fortunate in this town.
Ms. Kessler, could you lower the microphone just a little bit, please? Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Something disturbing happened to me today. And I think when anything disturbing happens at a city-run office or agency, it should be reported publicly. In a couple of weeks, the mayor and the council are invited to the Long Branch Senior Center for what's considered one of the most coveted events of the year, lunch with the seniors. And all the seniors want to be there because they know that day everything is going to be fancier and nicer and wonderful, just a wonderful, wonderful event. All events at the center must be signed up in advance. What 2 days, did the director choose for sign up at the senior center? This past Monday and Tuesday, the first and second day of Rosh Hashanah. Now, Rosh Hashanah is like a worldwide, everyone knows about Rosh Hashanah. It's the worldwide main event for the Jewish population. This literally meant that many of us who are Jewish and regularly go to the senior center would not be allowed to sign up for this event because we couldn't be there. We chose to be to honor our New Year. So today, Wednesday morning, the first day after Rosh Hashanah, I went to the senior center. And I said, gee, has any accommodation been made for the Jewish population who chose to observe our holiday and not go to the senior center? And the answer was no. I said, I want to sign up to have lunch with this council and mayor. And they said, we're sorry, it's closed out. This is in 2 days, closed out. You cannot sign up for this event. Now I'm leaving the center and I'm saying to myself, gee, this director could have chosen Monday and Wednesday to sign up, the day after Rosh Hashanah, spread out, the sign up is 2 days, but no, she chose Monday and Tuesday, both pretty recognizable days of Rosh Hashanah. Now I believe that Dr. Vode, who runs Brookdale College, they would never have a sign-up event on Rosh Hashanah where a portion of the population probably would not be available to attend. I think even at the Board of Education, they wouldn't schedule some important sign-up or for the schools on Rosh Hashanah when they knew a portion might not be available to attend. I think that the director of this senior center is really in need of some diversity or sensitivity education. And this year, although I will not be able to attend this luncheon with you, because I chose to observe Rosh Hashanah, I hope you will very closely look around at the faces who are in the audience. Long Branch is now over 30% Latina and 20% African American. Take a close look and see how welcoming, who was attending, and who feels, because people, if they don't feel welcome, can find other things to do. They don't have to go to the senior center. But by looking at the faces to see that day who is attending, you'll see who feels most welcome. And I hope you'll look into that. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Kessler. We will. Mr. Johnson?
Hi, just 2 minutes. Sid Johnson from the Health Department. So Mayor Pallone had asked that I just come to the meeting. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but last night the Mosquito Commission did spraying, adult larviciding for mosquitoes with West Nile virus in portions of Long Branch, Patton Avenue primarily. So if anybody has any questions or concerns, please, I'll be here to the end of the meeting. We can meet outside or come to the Health Department tomorrow. And the other thing real quick is I saw that it's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. I just bring to everybody's attention, Monmouth Medical is doing a community needs assessment for right now. It's ongoing right now for residents of Long Branch. There's the form is downstairs in the on the counter there when you go downstairs, English and Spanish, but they're looking for input from residents of Long Branch, what they do well, what they don't do so well, what you think they could do better, what they need to do. So the more people they get to answer the survey, the better it will be for your hospital care and Monmouth Medical. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Go ahead, Anita.
Good evening, Mayor Perone and members of the council. My name is Anita Cravering, and I live on 161 Garrett Drive in Long Branch. I only have a few words to speak tonight, but in response to the woman who was not accommodated because she chose to observe Rosh Hashanah, and I felt so bad that she couldn't sign up for this opportunity to meet the mayor and council and get really close with them. Long Branch is a diverse community, and I strongly believe that all groups should be considered and looked at, like Jewish holidays and also the Muslim community. I was proud to be part of a diversity committee in which helping to plan activities. I'm going to be part of the Long Branch Day festivities with my disability caucus for the Middlesex County. I'm not Middlesex. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Mama County Democrats. So I don't have a paper with me, but I just want to let you know that I'm pretty sure that Mayor Perone and the entire council will make any and all efforts to make sure our community, different community groups live together in harmony and in our neighborhood with each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita.
Hi. Bryce, I live in Long Branch. How are you guys? Good. Lots of great communication coming out. I think you guys are doing a really good job getting things out to the community. And I like that we're having community days and lots of events happening. So my son's pretty excited to participate in some of them. I wanted to come and ask you tonight about the new appointment for a municipal judge. I read that Judge Sierra had retired, and I think Scott, who's the judge from Deal? Scott has been filling in for him.
Basson.
Yes, Scott Basson has been filling in for him. And I was just wondering what the process was or what you were doing to select the new judge. Have you selected somebody? Is it going to be Judge Basson or?
Mr. Basson is there temporarily. We are in the process of reviewing resumes from various people. I don't know, Lou, did you want to add?
No, nothing.
Okay. I think that's really great. I think it would be wonderful to see a fresh face in Long Branch. We've shared judges with lots of other cities, and in recent years, you've seen some not so great stuff come out of towns like Eatontown, and we already share a prosecutor with other towns, and I like Jim Butler. He's a very nice guy. He seems very fair, But I think it's really important that when we select a municipal judge, that we maybe select somebody that better reflects our community and the diversity, which keeps coming up tonight. It would really be wonderful to see, maybe a judge of color or a woman, something different that we haven't seen here, someone that could maybe connect better with our community. I think that, when someone goes before that judge, it could be for a traffic ticket, it could be for graffiti, it could be for something very minor, and that could be their first entrance into the criminal justice system, especially when it comes to a minor. And I think that it would be great for our community to select a judge that was really sensitive to that and really understood their impact on our community. So I hope that you take the appointment very seriously. I don't have anybody in mind. It's just something that came to my mind when I saw that, the judge had retired. I went to court about 1.5 years ago for a ticket, and something I saw there that, has stuck with me since is there were a lot of moms there for truancy. And I don't know, that always bothered me. It just seemed like a lot. And, we're bringing all these children and moms into court. And I don't know, I just wanted to give you that little piece to maybe talk about with, whoever your prospects are for judges. And maybe, with your experience in the school board as council members, you could look into the truancy part. Again, there are some larger cities where moms can't pay those fines and actually end up in jail. So I think that really does a disservice to everybody here. So that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vincent Lepore, 33 Ocean Terrace, Long Branch, requesting 1-minute notification. This is going to be a very rare moment for me indeed. I'm going to pay a compliment to a city official. That is the director of the senior center, Pat Shinto, who I've known for better than 30 years and brought plenty of senior citizens to and from that facility. Pat Shinto is the most human-hearted, good soul, diversifying, accommodating individual that could ever be placed in that position. Ms. Kessler, this is the second swipe you've taken at Ms. Shinto. Approximately maybe 1 year ago, you took a swipe on financial improprieties at the senior center, and Oprah was done. The response to that Oprah was a telephone book thick violations of your properties in Long Branch. So before, Ms. Kessler, you come in this room and start throwing rocks around, look at your own glass house with the shattered windows, literally, in the Oprah response. Now I'm going to get back to me. Council, you have a resolution on tonight and you're adjusting the way the process of the workshop in the council is by a continuous run. My letter of July 2nd requested public portion in the workshop session. R19418 now has a continuous run with no public portion in the workshop session, but the public portion at the end of both meetings. Council, you have failed in transparency on this matter because every other community around here has been able to accommodate the public in a public portion at the workshop meetings. I'm requesting a no vote on 19418. At the last council meeting, we had a bit of to-do, so I'm going to ask a question to Councilman Selly and Mayor Pallone, to which I want a yes or no response. Are you aware of any violations of law by former Mayor Adam Schneider and/or Schneider administration officials? Yes or no? Ms. Selly? Ms. Selly?
I hear you. I'm not answering you.
You have no answer.
No,
Why?
no comment.
Why?
That's my prerogative.
That's your prerogative. The record demonstrates Ms. Selly will not answer the question. Mayor Pallone?
Mr. Lepore, I think Mr. Raynone has explained the situation to you.
No, he hasn't.
He disagrees with...
Mayor Pallone, are you aware of any violations of law by former Mayor Adam Schneider and/or Schneider administration officials? Yes or no?
Am I aware of any violation
of law
of Mr. Schneider?
Correct. Or Schneider administration
not that I know of. In other
officials.
words, has he been what are you saying? Has there been criminal activity charged against him? The
Are
answer
you
would be no.
aware of any violations of law involving Adam Schneider or
I must
officials?
tell you, I am not.
And you are not aware of any violations of law of officials in the Schneider administration?
Years past?
Under the Schneider administration?
Of course. I'm aware of the same ones that you are, as I think most of this audience is.
At the last council meeting, I got a response from Rose Wittes, the president, stating, quote, "We are not legally bound to do it the way you want us to do it," end quote. This was the investigation of Adam Schneider and Schneider administration officials. Could you explain, Ms. Wittes, the way that you want to do it? How does Team Pallone intend to go about?
Yeah, I'm going to say this for the last time to
Well, you can say it. Go ahead. You make your response.
Mr. Raynone answered the question, and I'm going to have him answer the question for the last time, but you do not want to hear our response. You don't agree with it, so you're going to keep bringing it up every other week. But our response is, go ahead, Mr. Raynone.
No, I don't want to hear Mr. Raynone. It's my 5 minutes. I control my 5 minutes. I get responses. You're correct. I don't get answers. And you are correct. Every council meeting, the two major issues of this campaign, public official corruption in Long Branch and the rescinding of the 30-year tax abatement for Kushner, will continue to be asked until I get the answers that Team Pallone campaigned on.
Your time is up. Thank you.
Of course it's up. I want a clock on the wall so the public can see the imbalance in the time. No, a digital clock there so the public out there viewing can see the imbalance in the application of the time per person. Because you, Ms. Wittes, are allowing people to talk for 12 or 13 minutes selectively and restricting other people to 5 minutes. And that's unfair.
Anyone else? No? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, Ernest McNolly, Field Lake Drive, Asbury Park, New Jersey. Born in Long Branch, New Jersey.
Mr. McNolly, can you lower the mic just a little bit? Thank you.
Mayor. I had a lot of things I wanted to talk about, but based on past experience here and activities of people that I seem to be in the company of in this council chambers, In particular, I'm talking about people recording things and taking our pictures, and they're winding up in nefarious places with nefarious accusations, with false statements, etc. They're winding up in police accusations and reports and threats and lots of other things. So I think the busy camera people here, after they're done with their photoshopping, where they desire to put people in mental hospitals, put people in crime scenes, etc., I think is quite disturbing. I also think it's disturbing that when we hear about 284 Van Pelt Place, which is where I grew up, that there are people in this room that somehow have connection to police information almost immediately. And I find that disturbing, that they come out with statements on these recordings that they make, with the papers that they work with the people that they associate with the police that they seem to have connections with, and they could be making statements about murders, about crime, about rape, etc., before anyone knows anything. So I think the slowest person in the room would be Mr. Radell, which is a shame because he's an Asbury Park press person who gets the most exposure. But his co-workers seem to get inside scoops on stories, make erroneous statements, and really, and I think, endanger the public. When you come out with statements that there's no danger to the public, everything's under control, it was this type of victim, it was this with the Wall Street victim, oh, they hadn't paid their mortgage payments in 20 years, the son was in special ed. How about asking the question, what happened to the school psychiatrist that was on the Long Branch school system payroll to prevent these kinds of things and were removed? Instead, we have retired police from Oceanport, etc., drawing large salaries in our school system, and they're not preventing anything. And they're very, very close and friendly with the police. The nepotism is just, in my opinion, out of control. The last thing I'll say, okay, because this could just go on for forever. And again, based on my experience here, I get no response from the new council. I get no response from anyone in the city. A rumor has it by city officials that the chief has ordered all my emails blocked, that there's no communication. The fire marshal is coming out with threatening statements. He claims he's standing right next to Mayor Pallone, and he's, with the chief, it's all, you got to understand, I'm the bad guy and they're the good guy. Well, if you listen to people speak here tonight, it's not the case. Actually, it's just the opposite. So the last thing I'll say, in many municipalities like this, when there seems to be such division and problem, usually a community will create a non-paid position called an ombudsman. And that ombudsman is empowered to receive complaints like this by citizens and handle it in a way much more dignified and better than it is. For example, the two people that came up with their problems. Okay, the chief met with them. Where? Out in the hall somewhere? I mean, wouldn't it be better to do it on the record? They said that they called the chief, they got no response after 6 times. Why is the chief allowed to go out in the hall and so, in his way, ameliorate it? It doesn't make sense. So that's what I'm saying. Create an ombudsman position, not paid, volunteer. Empower that person to receive complaints and then to try and interact with the city in a way that the city attorney, the mayor, and the council can then employ remedy, or at least investigation, because at this point, anyone who tries to sign any complaint or make any report against anyone in Long Branch, it goes nowhere. And I'm told by certain officials that it's been taken care of. Everything's getting thrown in the garbage. That's my speech. How was it? You're not going to use these for any nefarious reasons, are you? Really? You haven't, have you? Never?
Never.
Have you?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Avery Grant, 405 Atlantic Avenue. I'm also a member of the school board, and I don't want this rumor to get out that we don't have a very secure system. I don't know where this story is. We have high-paid policemen. Yes, we do have, with the agreement that we're going to have one policeman in each of the buildings. He's retired. And we have hired some retired policemen because they have a connection with the community. And if you're going to be effective, you've got to have communication with the people that you're protecting and with the people and the families that are concerned about our school district. You can be restful that we are secure. And I chair a statewide committee for the New Jersey School Board Association on student achievement. And I get to travel around this state. And I feel proud of what we're doing for security. The only thing that I and the board have agreed that we would not have metal detectors. First of all, a metal detector would make us start an hour earlier. And secondly, it gives you a bad feeling. Because even when I go through the checkpoints at the airport, I feel funny because they're saying you're one of the people who might be doing some damage. And after I go through, I tell them, yeah, I could do some damage because my first job in the Army was testing C4 explosive. And they laugh at that. But I want